Oh man, FOMC day. Will Jerome Powell rug pull this market? Bitcoin here trying to hold some support at $63,000. But will Jerome Powell in the next 5 or so hours rug pull this market? Will he shudder Bitcoin down below $60,000? You can imagine if Bitcoin falls below 60, altcoins will get absolutely decimated. Right now, we are seeing a green day. Bitcoin as much as 3% up on the day today. Now giving up some of those gains, it's now 2.4% up on the day, trying its best to bounce from the support level. I'm going to break down the key levels I'm seeing in the chart, what I expect to happen from the FOMC meeting, and a lot more. If you appreciate this type of content, smash up the likes. Do not forget to subscribe. As always, guys, if you want to trade with me in this community, I may be taking some trades straight after the FOMC meeting. Then join us. ijazcrypto.com/TG is where you're going to see how I actively made over 330% spot returns. Yes, spot trading returns. Don't use margin. I don't use leverage, and I don't even short the market. You can see all of that in our Telegram community. So Bitcoin here on the 4-hourly chart, we broke down from this rising wedge. Okay, we fell all the way to the bottom. Now, ironically, as this pattern was breaking down, what did I say? Look to the left. If you follow my TA course, you will know that the price targets for a falling wedge to the downside, you look at the pivot points. We tried to hold support at the first pivot point. We couldn't. We then go to the bottom of the wedge, which is exactly where we're trying to hold support here. Now, incidentally, this also happens to be the top of this big red box. The big red box has support sitting at 61.5k, and it dates back to a support line all the way back in 2021. Okay, this is to do with when Elon Musk was buying and Tesla were buying Bitcoin in their balance sheet, and Bitcoin was doing really well at the time. So we've got some support there, which has a lot of historical significance, which is why I've kept it drawn on the chart. And you're seeing us trying to hold this. You then have your green line here, which is $60,000. Of course, that's a psychological level of support, and Bitcoin may want to go down and test this. When we broke down from this pattern, I was calling for it. I said, guys, Bitcoin probably wants to retest 60,000 as a nice solid level. It may want to retest 60 before going ahead and creating new highs at 80,000, 85,000, who knows? Because it's not had a pullback. Now we've had a decent pullback. I mean, if we take the measured move here, guys, from where we're at here at the top and take it to currently all the way where it fell, that was a 17.6% spot move on Bitcoin, a big pullback. Now, if you look at a correction as being 20%, we didn't get a full correction, but it's a good, meaningful, healthy pullback and gives us enough of a pullback that if Bitcoin wanted to bounce from here and start attacking 73,000 again, it's not bad. Now, if you take a look at the liquidations, which I've been sharing with you guys, people are getting wrecked right now. Those are the people who are getting wrecked. Not people like sensible people like me who are holding spot and not panic selling. You've either got panic sellers or those with leverage. Those who are taking crazy leverage trades get wrecked. And how often do I have to say, guys, stay away from leverage? It's quick money, but easy come, easy go. You do not need leverage to make successful returns in crypto. And I'm teaching you exactly how, right? I'm showing you that. Now, if you take a look here in the last 24 hours, nearly $500 million wrecked. This is wasted money, guy. This is your hard-earned money being wasted, giving it to the suits every single time, giving it to the big players. Why? Why do you do it? Why do you keep falling for it? All because you want a quick buck. You always want that quick buck. Has that strategy worked for you in the past? Chasing a quick buck? No. Stop doing it. So now you're seeing that wreckness. Hold up. Do you want to learn how to trade? Then you need to jump into our Telegram community. Link is in the description. In our Telegram community, I share my altcoins. I share how I do my trade setups, how I do my stop losses and take profit, so you could learn to become a profitable trader. Check it out. Link is in the description. 100% of the market is not expecting a rate cut today, nor are they expecting a rate hike, okay? So 100% of the market expecting us to stay at the Fed funds rate of 5.25 to 5.5. Now, normally, I live stream these FOMC meetings. I won't be doing so, right? Because it's Ramadan, I'll be praying at nighttime, so I'll be missing the FOMC live stream, but I will update you. I'll get one of my colleagues to update you in the Telegram community with all the pertinent data. So if you want to follow along in there, then make sure in our Telegram community, link is in the very first one in the description. I'll post the relevant updates of what Jerome Powell says. And that's the important bit. It's not about the rate cut or hike. We're not expecting one. If he does do one, market is getting rug pulled, right? If he does do a rate cut, boom, market's rocketing to the upside. If he does a rate hike, boom, market is rug pulling to the downside. But markets are not expecting either of those two scenarios. What markets will be looking towards is the press conference, okay? So the press conference is where Jerome Powell will come out, and he's either going to be really dovish or he's going to be really hawkish. If he comes out as hawkish, which is, oh no, we've got a lot more work to do against inflation, we're nowhere near there yet, we may even, consider another rate hike from here, markets will get spooked and they can get rug pulled. So what we need here to continue our bounce here on Bitcoin is Jerome Powell to come out soft, come out dovish, say things like, we're nearly there, we're making really good progress, yep, we're going to consider maybe cutting rates at the next meeting in May, because markets aren't pricing in even for May. If you look at the May meeting, which is the May the 1st FOMC meeting, 90% of the market expect us to still not have had a rate cut. Where they're pricing the rate cut is in June. So anything Jerome Powell says to either reaffirm the June price cut, the rate cut, or suggest that maybe it can come sooner in May would be really bullish for the market. That's what we're looking for. The opposite is not great. Anything that he's suggesting we're going to kick this down the road and not do it in June, and maybe he says something like, oh, we won't consider any rate cuts until Q3 or Q4 later this year, those kind of things will spook markets. So look out for that if you're listening to the live stream without me later on today. Okay, now if you look at the market's still greedy, right? It's not extreme greed now when it was sitting at 81, but it's still greedy. So what this should tell you, if you just use this as another indicator, like how we use everything as indicators, is it tells us the pullback is working, but it's not working to shake the core. People are still not bothered. They're not falling for it. And this is what happens in crypto. Because crypto has been through so many cycles, it's harder to trick people now. People are cottoning onto the notion that, oh, you get these pullbacks, and 17% is not going to spook people anymore when Bitcoin's at 73,000. And so you're continuing to see the excitement around meme coins, you're continuing to see the excitement around the Solana pre-sales, and money is still flowing. People are still greedy. And so this is why I have to proceed with caution, because yes, Bitcoin is trying to bounce here, but what if Bitcoin goes, hang on a second, the market's not even spooked yet, we need to take some of this leverage, and it goes whoop, all the way down to 60,000. And there, do the same thing. Try to gauge whether the market is spooked yet. If it's not, maybe it wants to fall some more, right? So I need to be prepared for this situation. Now, the way I'm going to figure this out is to see, okay, one, does the market respond in terms of the liquidations, which I'm going to show you shortly, but also, is Bitcoin able to recover slowly some key levels? And the first key level is this one. It's this 64.5 level. You can see Bitcoin's already struggling today to kind of get past 64.1. Can it start getting above here, retesting and holding up? Because that's where the EMA ribbon will start to kick in as well. So what you don't want to see from Bitcoin is you don't just want this to be a rerun into the EMA ribbon, boom, before coming down to 69. You want to see it really start holding support and mount an attack back to get 68,000 and onwards, okay? So it needs to get back above the EMA ribbon before we can get super, super bullish here on the 4-hourly time frame. Now, if you switch this up to the daily, something really interesting is going on. Today, we've got a positive day, and look where this positive day is coming. It's coming inside of our EMA ribbon, right? So it looks like the bulls are trying to step up here. The answer we don't have is how strongly are they stepping up? Are they actually meaningfully going to finish off a green candle today? Because we've still got 10 hours before this candle turns green. Right? Is it going to finish green, or is it just going to capitulate and end up in the red later on today? So we need to see, is this a meaningful bounce, or is it just like, oh no, we're just going to try and then kind of fade over and curl over? So really, really important week here for Bitcoin to determine, is it going to show some strength, break through the higher high and keep the uptrend going, or is it just going to curl over, create a high, a lower high, and eventually start losing the daily EMA ribbon? If we do that, then we need to start pricing in some lower price targets, talking about 50,000, talking about some other price targets as well. But for now, it's premature. We don't need to, because we've managed to hold the EMA ribbon thus far. So that's why I was focusing on the 4-hourly chart to say, okay, can we now reclaim our 4-hourly EMA ribbon, at least hold the 4-hourly trend bullish, and start working our way back to some of those key levels. Now, if you take a look at the liquidation heat map, this kind of tells you the story of what's going on, right? A lot of the pain we're seeing is because of liquidations. Take a look here. When we were sitting all the way up here, there's a bunch of liquidity, and you can see that the market kept falling. Look at these falls. It kept falling down here, took this liquidity, kept falling, taking liquidity. Now where we're sat is here. But where does the liquidity that the market makers want lie? Well, there's a bunch here at 66,000. right? Don't be surprised to see market makers want to go grab that at 66,000. There's a bunch here at 69,000. There's a bunch sitting up here at 72, and then obviously at all-time highs as well. So there's a lot of liquidity here for this market to want to grab at higher prices. But the question is, does it want to finish off grabbing some at 60,000 to the downside, just grabbing this bit here before it heads upwards? So if I just switch this down here to, let's put it on a 12-hourly chart, which is, does it want to come down here, grab some more liquidity here to the bottom side, these levels here at 60,000, before then wanting to go back up and grab some liquidity further up? That's what I'm watching for carefully here in this market. So there you have it, guys. Jerome Powell set to potentially rug pull this market. A very, very important FOMC meeting, which has come at a pretty important time in the Bitcoin technical analysis as well. Bitcoin clearly trying to hold some support at 63,000. Will the FOMC meeting and Jerome Powell's press conference be the catalyst that ultimately either sends Bitcoin down to 60 or provides us with enough dovishness, bullishness, that allows us to say, hang on, that's the pullback complete. We pulled back 16-17%. We're ready to go attack 73,000 again shortly. Either way, I'm ready for both situations. If we're moving to the upside, fantastic. If we're pulling back to 60,000, like I said to you, I'm ready to nibble some more. The closer we get to 60,000, the bigger my chunks of nibbles are going to be, because those for me are some really nice price points given the technical structure. If we lose our daily EMA ribbon, if we start really losing the daily trend here on Bitcoin over the next kind of couple of days, then fine. We have to change the script. We have to say, okay, are we going to really head down to 50? We have to start looking at some more TA to say, okay, are we heading into a more multi-week pullback here on Bitcoin? In which case, we'll need to reevaluate. If you appreciate this type of videos, then make sure you smash up the likes. Do not forget to subscribe. Make sure you go watch my podcast here. I'm going to link that up, slightly non-crypto related, but definitely go watch it up here. You might enjoy it, and I'll see you in the next one.